Uh, One of the best, if not the best, ally, friend of the U.S. On the planet, certainly in the Middle East. So here we have
Yeah, the only resident of the crazy cul-de-sac that's not batshit insane.
exactly. So here we have, speaking of the crazy cul-de-sac, here we have this tiny little country of Israel surrounded by hostile neighbors who would love nothing more than to erase it off the face of the earth, right? Push it into the sea. And for Obama to even think about retribution, I mean, tit for tat diplomatic thing is what I'm thinking. Because as petty as he is, I don't think even he would go there,
Right,
to do anything that would further jeopardize Israel. And he's
right.
already done multiple things ever since he's been in office. So for him to get his nose in a snit, as my mother used to say, over something like this, um, because he's everything. I mean, everything should go through him. And you know what? Okay, maybe so. Maybe it was a diplomatic faux pas. It was not protocol. But it's not as if they were all happy BFFs coming into that decision, right? He has chastised um, Netanyahu in the past multiple times vehemently because, like the Republicans in Congress and many Democrats, by the way, um, Netanyahu believes that additional sanctions should be put in place against Iran should they not meet deadlines, which have already not met one or about not to meet one, if they continue to enrich uranium and pursue nuclear weapons. That's what has Obama's original, before this whole thing, had had his panties in a wad. So now this happens.
Right, I'm sorry. That just struck me as funny. Okay.
Okay, so you
Continue.
go ahead. Yeah, so let me list a few because I have these in the post, by the way. And you guys, there are links to each of these examples within the short summary of the example. 2009 speech before the UN General Assembly. Obama railed, I've seen the YouTube, against, he literally called it the Israeli occupation of Gaza, drew connections between rocket attacks on Israeli citizens and living conditions in Gaza.
Right.
If you look at Gaza now versus the way that the Israelis left it, I mean, hell, the Gazans tore down nurseries and all kinds of stuff. So anyway, he suggested 2009 that the plight of the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip, which they've brought on themselves, is somehow just maybe just a bit of a reason to fire rockets into to Israel. Okay, so then 2011, and I'll come up for air here, but you remember this. He insisted that the basis for talks about a Palestinian state should begin with a return to the pre 1967 borders.
Right.
I mean, anybody knows anything about the Golan Heights and what those borders were and modern weaponry. Israel will never agree to that. It's not defensible. That would
Oh,
be
it's a complete and total non-starter
that'd be the
to the
beginning
point.
of the end, man.
Oh, exactly. I mean, that can only be interpreted and understood as a gadfly type of comment. I mean, it's not a serious discussion, even not even remotely.
Just no way. If anything, he's playing to the Palestinians. And of course, in 2012, now you talk about damage. We suggested that certainly he's not petty and thin-skinned enough that he will do anything to put Israel in harm's way as as a result of this snub. But in 2012, from somewhere, all of a sudden there was a couple, two, three leaks to the media about a possible pending Israeli military strike on Iranian nuclear facilities. You remember that?
Right.
Well, who do we think did that? Israeli officials certainly think that the regime, that would be our regime, did it. So, I mean, this just goes. This has happened throughout the Obama presidency. He's thrown Netanyahu under the bus every opportunity he's had. He's dressed him down every opportunity he has. And to Netanyahu's credit, I'm sure he throws it right back in their face.
Oh, absolutely. Now, I noticed that you don't mention what was just 3 months ago, the chicken shit comment on here.
I did not. I did not.
Any particular reason?
No, I just start to look at the length of the. But go ahead and throw that one out there because that's
Well,
good.
it was a behind the scenes report
Right.
that the Obama administration that Obama said that Netanyahu was chicken shit.
Right, and that was about something previously. And did
Hmm.
that paragraph also said something to the effect that the discussion that they had in the White House once they learned Bibi was coming anyway in March, that the word chicken shit was mild by miles in terms of the language that they used once they learned that he's coming to address the joint session of Congress.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So,
the it's interesting is that international friendships, international relations between countries, there's a modicum of formality and respect of previous relationships and the idea of the country's historical trends,
sure.
but clearly, personally, there is a dislike between these two guys.
Oh, and it runs deep, and it's not only a dislike; it's a distrust, particularly
Mhm.
on Netanyahu's side. And I don't know why Obama would distrust Netanyahu. Maybe I'm just pro enough Israel and know what the rest of the Middle East would love to do with them in a nanosecond if they could, and know that Obama is sympathetic to that cause. You know, that Cairo speech he gave, I think, you know, he didn't directly compare, but in effect, by a few dots being connected, I'm going to use the word, I guess, compared, you know, the Holocaust, what, 6 million Jews, or some say as high as 11, but six may be among these somewhat official numbers. He damn near compared that to the plight of Palestinians. And he said, you know, the famous quote, no one has suffered more than the Palestinians. So I don't know what reason he has to distrust Netanyahu other than not like him, because Netanyahu stands up to him and shoves it back in his face.
Well, I think there's a couple things. Number one is certainly compared to Obama, Netanyahu is a conservative. Number one.
For
Uh,
sure.
Number two, um, one of the fundamental tenets of Obama's, agenda is reducing America's relative importance, influence, and impact on the world,
Oh,
both
absolutely.
economically, culturally, militarily, etc.
Exactly.
And I would guess that he would see Israel as part and parcel of that type of influence, and by extension would criticize Israel and Netanyahu as being supportive of that sort of outsized influence. Um, you know,
Oh
um,
no, and dude, I get that. I mean, and you know that's no different than, oh hell, I mean, Tip O'Neill and Ronald Reagan, you know, hating each other's guts politically, but they got together for cigars and drinks after work, and you know, I don't think that they distrusted each other, and I don't think that I don't think that Obama distrusts Boehner. He knows he can, you know, play him like a cheap fiddle. But I understand the opposition and even not liking the guy because they don't have the same views. But again, that word distrust. And I think, frankly, Netanyahu has a whole lot more of a credible reason to distrust Obama than in reverse. I mean, that's my opinion. I'm sticking to it.
yeah. Well, you know what? I pretty much don't disagree with you.
All right. Double negative there. I don't know. Anyway, no. Um, so yeah, so just quickly, this Rob Lowe thing, because he puts it all into perspective, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's beautiful. Absolutely. And by the way, I got approval to do the thing, and so I'm going to work on it. So here's the thing. Um,
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but it's just you guys again inside baseball.
no, no, no. You're totally right. In fact, you know what I need to do is I need to pull up. Go ahead and do the Rob Lowe thing, and I want to talk about what Herman Cain's comment on it.
Okay, so Howsam sent me this thing from Tea Party News Network. I mean, that's where this is. But Rob Lowe puts in perspective just how insulting it is that Obama won't meet with Netanyahu. Dude, I still think this guy's going to run for office. Um,
You
so,
know what? Jumping into stuff like this, yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to disagree with you here, pal.
but we do have you on Spreaker as disagreeing with me last time I said that, so we will keep that. But anyway, so here's Rob Lowe. Rob Lowe tweets, "Hold up. Is it true that a woman who eats cereal out of a bathtub gets to meet with the president and the prime minister of Israel does not?" And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Obama, weren't there three of them? He met with these YouTube stars.
Right.
And is this woman that was in the bathtub? This woman, I saw this part of this clip on Fox last night. This woman's in a bathtub full of milk, cereal floating. At one point, I mean, she has these massive breasts. At one point, as she's sliding around in this bathtub full of milk, trying to bob for Cheerios or Fruit Loops or whatever the hell they were, she damn near, like, one of them almost comes out. Is she the same one that was wearing the, I don't know, whatever the hell color lipstick, green? Is that
yes,
okay,
and that's her name is Glozell Green.
Yeah.
That's her. She's got like 3 million followers on YouTube that are subscribed to her channel.
So he met with that one and then another one or two, but she's the one that was talking about Castro, or no, it was the other one giving him hell about Castro.
Right.
He puts the dick in dictator. This is an interview with the president of the United States.
Right. Yeah. So, and Rob Lowe's point is, wait a second, the president is meeting with this chick, but not the prime minister of Israel, and that's exactly the point.
Exactly, it is. It's a wonder he wasn't in the bathtub with her eating cereal.
Right. Uh-huh. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, so who were you looking up?
Oh, well, Herman Cain did an article about it on Cain TV. I don't know if it was actually Herman Cain or one of his guys, but so he gave the background for this chick, Glozell Green, and it shows the video, and it shows the video of Glozell Green in the bathtub eating the Cheerios, or actually it looks like Fruit Loops to me. And then they also they had the interview that Obama had with her where he's holding her hand. And then who is this? Is this Chris Hayes explaining on NBC why it's important? Here's what the president needs these YouTube personalities more than the YouTube personalities need the imprimatur of the White House. So basically, that the president needs their popularity to help boost his.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question, because somewhere I read about the viewership that these people have, right?
Yeah, she's got 3 million subscribers to her YouTube channel.
Jeez.
I mean, that means every video that she puts up, she makes, $10,000-$20,000 per video.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
So obviously that's more influential than, well, it's obviously more influential than the prime minister of Israel. Let's just put it that way.
Well, because it's about everything else we've said, that he does. Everything he does is with an eye on the ballot box. Of course, that's everything most all Democrats do, and of course, we know he's not running for anything again in his life. But
right,
you know what? Here's what he may be thinking, and I think this is the same reason. Excuse me. He floated a bunch of stuff before Congress that he knew wouldn't happen. He knows his legacy in terms of ineffectualness is shot, but he's just trying to leave this behind to try to position the Dems. All right, dude, take us out, man.
Well, folks, thanks so much for listening. That is the first half hour of the Right Mics with Mike Miller and Michael Hausum. We have got a bunch of more interesting things to talk about over the next half hour. We may launch into a little bit of cultural stuff, maybe a little bit of weekend planning, maybe a little football predictions as well, whether or not they're going to actually check, the inflated levels of footballs for the next time around. This is Michael Hausum for Mike Miller. Please stay tuned after the news. We'll be right back.